Okay, so you have to master your subconscious mind. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, anytime that, okay, so you guys know whenever you are doing something subconsciously, we all understand that, right? Okay, well, if you guys don't, the subconscious mind is basically everything that revolves around whenever you either are doing things or making decisions unconsciously, which is kind of like, where the term subconscious comes from. So what do I mean by master your subconscious? Well, guys, anytime that you are doing anything subconsciously, you are basically saving it onto the hard drive of your personality. Basically. Whenever you are, let me say that again. Whenever you are doing things subconsciously, you are saving it on the hard drive of your personality. Now, why do I say that? Well, look. For instance, what I'm doing right now, okay? I'm scratching my arm, okay? Because I got into the subconscious habit of whenever, and there I go again, whenever I feel an itch on my skin, that right away I automatically start itching. As a matter of fact, and here I go again, I'm itching like crazy. I think I got mosquito bites. As a matter of fact, it's gotten to the point where even if my hands are occupied, it is such a subconscious habit that even if my hands are occupied, whatever I'm doing with my hands, I'll, naturally stop doing what I'm doing to scratch wherever the itch is on my skin. So just kind of like the way you naturally get into the habit of doing something, good or bad. That's what I'm talking about right now. So, as you know, on this channel, we are trying to get you guys to overcome bad habits, negative habits, habits that are making you have these mental issues that you keep struggling with daily, on a daily basis. So whenever we have subconscious things that we're doing, which could be any number of things that we want to change, how do we change it? Well, just like the way that we develop these natural subconscious habits, very common subconscious habits, such as scratching an itch whenever it itches. That's the same way that we as human beings have to get ourselves into the habit of psychological patterns as well. So if you, for example, noticed that you have the subconscious habit of thinking negatively whenever you are presenting in front of people, or whenever you are on a date, or whatever the case is, you have to get into the subconscious habit of reversing this. So let's use a very common example. If the issue is that you get into the subconscious habit of feeling like all eyes are on you whenever you are walking in public, maybe it's out on the street, and whenever you're passing by people, you automatically feel like if they are looking at you with, negative feedback. So the reason why you have that as a habit is because you got yourself into that habit. Because maybe at some point in the past, the very first time that you ever had to go out in public where everybody was passing you by, maybe that very first time it did not go well. may be where most people in that situation, the first time that they walk in public, naturally their mind might prepare them for, oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? In that situation, what you're naturally supposed to do is feel it with a more positive response. But we, as human beings, because we don't like discomfort, in that situation, if our body is saying, well, what if someone looks at us and thinks we're ugly, or what if someone makes fun of our shoes? Our mind is going to naturally want to protect us. And if our body feels discomfort just because of the thought of the what ifs, well, then what it's going to do is it's going to want to protect us. And therefore, if you listen to that response in your body and you say, okay, so I think there's a possibility that they could make fun of my shoes, so therefore I need to be protected. If you accept that this is a fight or flight response, then your body subconsciously, naturally, in a situation when you're in public, will automatically by default put you in a low confidence, low self-esteem situation. Because on the very first time that you put yourself in that situation, you accept it in your body. Okay, this is discomfort, so I'm going to accept this as a fight or flight response. And by the way, you might not have actually said it in your mind like that. But guys, whenever you make a decision, when you're at the store and you're, maybe at the counter with the clerk, and they're like, oh, do you want the blue one or the red one? And you see the line behind you. You don't have time to think, well, maybe the blue would look good if I put it on the shelf. No, maybe. That's in a way, there's a fight or flight response in the fact that you have to hurry the hell up because you have a line waiting for you, right? Well, it's kind of that same way. We don't even contemplate or become self-conscious of the decisions that we make when we're in the line shopping, right? But it's very similar to the way that we make psychological decisions that we end up having to face the consequences for later on, right? So again, a lot of people think that you have to tell yourself, oh, I'm afraid of that person looking at me at the street. No, you do not have to say it out loud. You don't. All of this happens very smoothly, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of it happens under the surface, kind of like, you could think of your mind almost like the ocean, where there's so much going on that you don't even see. There's so much depths, so much height, so much weight to it that you don't even realize. And one of the things that we don't realize is that we can train our minds just like any other muscle in our body, or just like any, habit, any skill even. So, like I've said before on previous videos, if your issue is in dating, then whenever you are in a situation where you're on a date, or you're trying to, spit some game with a girl or what have you, right? Those are the situations that you have to hyper focus and really dig deep. Okay? If you have the issue of, not being confident around girls, and you notice that this is one of the biggest issues in your dating life, well, you got to first see, what are the habits that I got myself into in the first place that are sabotaging my results with women. And before, some people might say, well, Dallas, isn't that your job? Isn't that your job to figure it out? Well, here's the thing. Here's a little trick to figure out what is the issue. Whatever it is that whenever you think about it, you get nervous, or your mind goes, oh, I don't really want to deal with that right now. Oh, I don't really want to look. While everything else, when you try to think about it, you're open. Oh, yeah. You're ready to talk about it. Whatever that thing is that you are too afraid, too hesitant to bring to light, that very thing is the thing that you need to work on. That very thing. You identified it yet? Yeah? Okay. Well, get that thing, okay? Whatever it is in your life, and hyper fucking focus on it. hyper focus on it. Okay? And next, what I want you to do is, whether it's on a piece of paper, whether it's in your journal, whether it's on your phone, on a notes folder, whatever it is, try to write down all the situations that you know that this issue pops up in your life. Okay? And typically this is going to be a situation that is reoccurring. Okay? So now that you have that situation ready, okay, prepare yourself. Every single time that you're about to go into that situation, prepare yourself. Whether it's, you remind yourself in the morning, or whether it's just a mental preparation, whatever way you naturally prepare yourself for that situation. Okay, for example, let's say you always notice that you get nervous when people are looking at you walking by on the street. Okay, that is when you want to have your game hat on. Okay, so if you get nervous while everybody is looking at you on the street, then notice whenever the tension pops up. Okay, is it right when you're passing by the person, or is it right when you're about to start actually walking on the street? Whenever you feel it, that is when you have to create the new pattern. Okay, you already developed the pattern of being afraid that everybody's looking at you. Now, whenever you notice a tension occurring, that is when you have to create the new pattern. So how do you create the new pattern? The same way you created the old one, but backwards. Okay, so you created the old pattern thinking negatively and saying, oh my gosh, everybody's looking at me. You create this new pattern by saying, guys, there's nothing to fucking worry about. Who cares if they fucking looking at me? Okay, if everyone's looking at me and I blush, okay, so what? Am I gonna explode? Am I gonna fucking die? No, life's gonna go on. I'm gonna be able to go home and enjoy my favorite Netflix show and freaking be with my family and, go back to work and do what I love, right? You see, you have to have this mindset of whatever it is that I am so afraid of happening, even if it happens, it's not the end of the world. Unless what you are afraid of is life or death, there really should not be a reason why this thing that is so concerning to you is keeping you from being able to live life more freely, more, at ease. Because think about it, guys, we were not created as human beings to where we should be able to walk down the street and not have a fucking panic attack, man. Okay? We should be able to have conversations with people and not look like an alien. I miss the days whenever, we could go out in public and not be so awkward with each other, man. Where we could walk up to a stranger, they sit next to us on the bench, and it's natural. It's like, yo, what's up, dude? We need more of that. And a lot of it is just because we're all in our heads. So I'll create a new pattern. Just the same way that you develop bad, negative subconscious habits is the same exact way that you develop positive ones. Let me know what you guys think about this video. I kind of feel like it was a little mid, but it was what was on my mind, and I kind of like to make the videos when they're fresh. So let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all in the next one.